Alright, so for starters, I'm me and Webster, obviously. So first I'm going to start off with a quote. Oscar Wilde once said, "Experience is simply the name we give our mistakes." And Oscar Wilde being one of my mother's favorite authors, that's where I'm going to start off. My mother, she's given me a set of guidelines in which to, reach my goals that I've set in my life and that I will set throughout my life. And I look forward to informing you on how my mother has influenced and shaped who I am today. So, from the day I was born, obviously, my mother's showered me with love, affection. She's always been a stable role model in my life. And 21 years later, here I am finally realizing the extent of which she's impacted me. So, for every person, there's a defining moment, person, or event that defines a person on who they're going to be. And for me, it's my mother. So, but before I tell you how she's impacted me, I'm going to just tell you a little bit about her. My mom, she grew up in a shady part of New Jersey, kind of in an impoverished family, and never really wanted to stay in that. She always thought of that as being rock bottom. So for me, she's always had incredibly high aspirations for herself. And with that, she took that into her schooling, and she was able to get a master's degree from Virginia Tech in English and education. So she's always had a strong emphasis on that, and that you can't get out of a sticky situation. And along with that, she's an incredibly rational person. She always thinks before she does or says anything, which I really admire. And she's always told me and my sister never to accept the bare minimum. So with that comes back with the quote that she talked from Oscar Wilde. Experience is simply the name we give our mistakes. And she's always taught me to accept failure. It's always an option. It's not our first option, but it's always an option. She told my sister and I never let it be a safety net. Just because it's there doesn't mean we have to use it. Just because I can fail doesn't mean that I will fail. And she also has our family mantra, Webster's never quit. It's kind of annoying, but we don't. We give 110%, and if it doesn't work out after that, then I guess we have to give up. But my mother and I are basically the same person. We act the same way, we think the same way, we get on each other's nerves, and it happens, but at the end of the day, she's my mom, and she's my role model. So I hope the conveyance of how influential my mother's been on my life has allowed you to understand why she's my role model. But although it shouldn't be your first option, but always your last, make sure that you're never afraid to gain, as Wilde puts it, experience from failure.